In 31 BCE, Rome stood on the edge of transformation. No longer just a city-state, it was a sprawling republic spanning the Mediterranean. Yet internal conflict threatened everything. At the center of this struggle were three of history's most famous figures: Octavian, Julius Caesar's adopted heir, determined to secure his power over Rome; Mark Antony, the brilliant general whose loyalty and love for Egypt's queen would seal his fate; Cleopatra, the clever and charismatic queen of Egypt, whose influence over Antony had political consequences for the Roman world. The conflict was not only political but intensely personal. Years of alliance and romance between Antony and Cleopatra alarmed Rome. Octavian knew that only a decisive confrontation could secure his claim, and the stage for this confrontation was the Ionian Sea, near the port of Actium. Naval preparations. Octavian commanded a large, disciplined fleet, over 400 warships, including triremes and quinqueremes, veteran captains and sailors trained for coordinated maneuvers, infantry support ready for boarding or landing operations. Opposing him, Antony and Cleopatra assembled their own formidable fleet, tens of massive warships, heavily armed but slower and less maneuverable. Experienced sailors and troops relying on strength and intimidation. Cleopatra's presence boosted morale but also added a political risk. The stage was set for a decisive clash. The fate of Rome, the Mediterranean, and their own lives would be decided here. The battle begins. As dawn broke, the two fleets faced each other in the narrow waters near Actium. The wind and waves made maneuvering treacherous. The battle began with volleys of missiles. Catapults hurled stones and fireballs. Archers rained arrows on opposing decks. Ships collided, ropes and gangplanks connecting vessels in chaotic skirmishes. At first, Antony seemed to have the advantage. His larger ships dominated the field, and his forces pressed forward aggressively. But Octavian's commanders remained disciplined, executing maneuvers designed to exploit the enemy's weaknesses. The turning point. Suddenly, Cleopatra's fleet began moving away unexpectedly. Whether this was a tactical retreat or a panic-driven withdrawal, it changed everything. Antony's morale collapsed. His troops were demoralized as the queen he loved abandoned the line. Octavian seized the moment. He pressed the left and right flanks. He encircled Antony's forces, forcing the general to retreat from the field. Defeat and aftermath. Many of Antony's ships were captured or destroyed. The remaining forces fled to Egypt with Antony and Cleopatra. Octavian achieved a decisive victory: control over the Mediterranean Sea, political dominance over Rome, the eventual annexation of Egypt into the Roman Empire. He became Rome's first emperor, taking the name Augustus. The battle marked the end of the Roman Republic, the rise of the Roman Empire under Augustus, the tragic end for Antony and Cleopatra, whose story would become legendary. Legacy. Actium was more than a naval engagement. It was a turning point in history. It demonstrated how strategy, patience, and timing could overcome raw power. It highlighted how personal decisions, love, loyalty, ambition, can influence the fate of empires. It set the stage for Rome's centuries-long dominance of the Mediterranean world. As historians note, at Actium, the Republic ended and the empire began. The Mediterranean would never be the same. Imagine the fate of the greatest empire in the ancient world decided in a single day on the open sea. On one side, Octavian, the heir of Julius Caesar, determined to claim Rome's throne. On the other, Mark Antony and Cleopatra, a legendary couple whose ambitions and love could reshape the world. At Actium, this was not just a naval battle, it was a battle of power, strategy, and destiny.